No liquidity, no bullrun. No bullrun, no Bitcoin pumping. No Bitcoin pumping, no alt season, no happiness. It's that simple. I've been following liquidity for a while now, and yeah, it's kinda becoming the hot topic lately, just because people are realizing how important it actually is. And the Fed basically confirmed it. We are in a period where there is just no liquidity. But the thing is, Bitcoin follows liquidity. Every time liquidity goes up, Bitcoin reacts like 3 months later. But the problem is that right now, liquidity is just gone. It's getting sucked out by all the macro stuff, and Bitcoin is paying the price. And every time we are in a phase like this, it's the same thing. Horrible ranges on Bitcoin. Now we have the fear of the bear market, and the whole crypto market is screaming. The question is, what's the only thing I know? The only thing I know is that we need liquidity. And what keeps me hopeful is that we actually do have a few things that could bring some back. So first thing, the Fed stopping QT. Back in 2019, Bitcoin actually topped before QT ended, and then we went straight into quantitative easing. Could we see the same setup again? Yeah, it's possible. Right now we are in this kind of randomness that I honestly haven't seen in crypto in a long time. The best thing we can do is just accept that we don't know anything for sure and follow a few indicators that can at least give us some direction, mainly how liquidity evolves. But right now we've got both positive signs and negative ones. Historically, when a shutdown ends, it's good for the markets, because liquidity comes back in. Out of 20 shutdowns, 18 were positive for the markets. If we look at Fed pivots, they are historically really good too, especially when we are near 80H. We got an S&P 500 80H and we got a Fed pivot. And historically, every time the Fed cuts rates, except 2007 with the whole subprime mess, is good for the S&P and for the markets. So yeah, with everything we are seeing right now, my thesis is basically still the same. I still have this thesis that 2026 is gonna be the year we hit a peak in global liquidity, because we've got pivots coming, we've got the Fed raising its balance sheet cap with something like $5 trillion getting injected into the economy, into the markets. We've got an economic growth, and we've got this massive refinancing wall ahead of us. All of that, if we add short-term stuff like ending QT, is why I think liquidity tops out in 2026. The question is, will Bitcoin follow? Will crypto follow? Are we in a bear market? Honestly, I have no clue, because we also have a bunch of signals that could mean we actually top in October if we look at timing analysis. So yeah, like I told you, we have absolutely no idea, and we need to stay humble and accept this idea that no one has a clue. And what does we have no idea look like? It looks like this. Everything's moving like crazy. There is a 50% chance the Fed cuts rates in December, and a 50% chance they don't. We don't know what's coming. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know what's being said inside the Fed. We just have to accept it. Right now, we are in a liquidity drought that is honestly kind of terrifying. The repo market, that's the place where banks and big financial institutions borrow cash by posting treasuries as collateral, and they give the cash back the next day or a few days later. And right now, if you look at that, it's dried up. Banks basically don't have a cash cushion anymore. That could make repo rates blow up. It could make certain operations fail. Collateral doesn't come back. The bond market starts freezing. And trust me, we really don't want the bond market to freeze, because if that happens, banks have to dump assets, trigger sell-off, and traders are watching that like hawks right now. If we take a look at the TGA, that's the US Treasuries accounts at the Fed. The TGA soaked up 500 billion, and the shutdown kept another 150 billion stuck in there. We are at historic TGA levels we haven't seen since 2021, and yeah, that could matter, because all that money will eventually spill back into the economy. So sure, liquidity stimulus is coming, but it's gonna take time. That's what I'm not really super bullish on November or on the end of the year. We could still get a bounce, obviously, but in this cycle, Bitcoin has needed liquidity flows every single time to perform. And right now, we've got zero liquidity traction, and it usually takes about 3 months for it to hit the system anyway. And what's rough is that this is the first cycle with no real alt season yet. Is that because of liquidity? Is it because institutions came into crypto and the whole thing's more manipulated now? We will never know. But yeah, if the cycle is done, this would be the first one ever without an alt season. So yeah, we always get this debate of like, did the market top right there or not? But the real question underneath is what's actually driving Bitcoin right now? Is it Bitcoin's usual seasonality with the halving, or is it the business cycle? We have no clue, but the business cycle is a bit off because of tariffs, the war stuff, all of that. That part's just a fact. And look, I don't want to flip-flop. I've had the same thesis going out to 2026. So yeah, I'm not expecting anything crazy for November. I'm just gonna watch liquidity, because the only thing saving Bitcoin right now is that it's liquidity. There is a chance the top was made in October. That's a fact, and this cycle really showed us how important it is to have a big chunk of your portfolio in the top 10. If that's the case for you, you are in the green, which is why picking the right alts and keeping them as a small percentage matters so much. The cycle is just different. It hasn't given us much in some ways, and at the same time it's shown us we have to adapt because bigger players came into the game. That doesn't mean it's over, okay? It doesn't mean crypto's never coming back, but again, let's just accept that we don't know. Yeah, there are bear market possibilities, but there are some more positive ones. Rebounds, maybe even surprises. I'm trying my best to give you indicators while telling you we don't know anything right now. The balance is tough, but we can't time the market. We can only try to get some perspective. Alright, because crypto isn't the only thing in life, do you know the story of the dog and the nail? So there is this man walking past a house and he sees this old dog lying on the porch, kinda whining. He gets curious, so he asks the owner sitting next to him, "Excuse me, sir, why is your dog whining like that?" And the owner goes, "Because he's lying on a nail." Okay, then the guy asks, "Yeah, but why doesn't he just get up?" And the dog's owner says, "Because it doesn't hurt enough yet." The question is now, are you sitting on a nail somewhere in your life? In crypto, yeah, but in sports, in your job, in the stuff you create in your relationships. We stay stuck in these uncomfortable situations, not because they are unbearable, but because the pain isn't high enough to force us to move. It's just high enough to make us suffer. And as long as that discomfort isn't urgent, we tolerate it, we rationalize it, we stay frozen in this weird comfort zone that slowly builds frustration. You know why? Because humans aren't made to be happy, they are made to be comfortable. Acting feels harder than staying where we are, so we just keep sitting on the nail. But here is the thing, getting off the nail isn't even that hard. You just need to move, take action every day a little bit. And once you start moving, you realize it's not that bad. Momentum actually makes it easier. That's why when I start something new like a sport, I don't tell myself I'm gonna run every day for the next 3 years of my life. I just tell myself I will be consistent for a few weeks, build momentum, then it becomes fun, then it sticks. First step is the key. Thank you, Breachers.